Hi Year 5 and welcome to Friday's Maths. So today we're going to be doing an assignment quiz on teams, and it's all about division that we've been looking at over the last couple of weeks, yesterday and Wednesday. You don't need to necessarily work in your book, but you will need some paper to work on. This could be in your book if you don't have anything else. If you'd rather kind of do your divisions a bit in rough on scrap paper, then you can do. So what we're going to do, we're going to do some total recall as normal. Then we're going to recap some models of how to do the different divisions, and then I'm going to show you how to get to the quiz. So here's our total recall for today. Let's go back to before Christmas and talk about area. Can you find the area of that rectangle? Now, if we can't remember the formula for finding area, it is linked to the skill that we've been using the last couple of weeks. We know that when we multiply length by width, we find the area of a rectangle. Last week's multiplication skills are down there, so if you know 5 times 7, you know the other two. And then yesterday, the work we did on remainders got a really simple division there, one that you may well be able to do just mentally, but I would like you to calculate the remainder, and then the remainder as a fraction, and finally, if you can, as a decimal. Okay, here come the answers, so I hope you're ready. The rectangle is 21 centimetres squared. I got that by multiplying 3 by 7. Last week's multiplications then, 5 times 7 was 35, so 50 times 7 is 350. That means that 500 times 7 would be 3,500. 25 divided by 4. So this is going to be 6 with a remainder of 1, or we can show that remainder as 1/4 because it's 1 part, the remainder 1, and we divide by 4, so it's 1 part out of 4. As a decimal, that would be 0.25, or actually in this case it would be 6.25. Right, let's look at some examples of the kind of divisions we're going to do today. I'll show you these in my book now. Okay, so the first one I'm looking at today is going to be 287 divided by 7. So I'm going to place, and think about the room that I need. I'm going to start with what I'm dividing by, which will be 7, and I'm going to divide up 287. Again, I've not got my ruler, so I'm just using what I've got. 7's into 2. Okay, so I can't do that. I can't find 1 7 in 2. So what am I going to do? I'm going to bring that 2 across to here, so that I've created 28. Couldn't make a 7 out of 2, so I brought the 2 into the next column to make 28. Now 7's into 28. I think I can do that. I might want to run through my 7 times table here. 7, 14, 21, 28. Spot on 28. That's 1, 2, 3, 4 lots of 7. Last thing, I've got 7, so 7's into 7. That's going to be 1. Nothing else to divide. All done. 287 divided by 7 going to be 41. So that's our first type of division today, where we had to bring something we couldn't divide into across into the next column. Now let's look at 3-digit divided by 1-digit. It's exactly the same layout. You can divide by 5, and I've got 335. So to start with, I'm going to look at 5s into 3. I can't do 5s into 3. Okay, so I'm going to take rid of that 3 and bring it across into the next column to create 33. 5's into 33. Well, I know that 5 times 6 is 30, and 5 times 7 is 35. So I'm going to need to use this one. I'm going to say that I can make 6, and then the difference between 33 and 30 is 3. So I've got 3 to bring across into the next column. So I used 5 times 6 because that was the nearest one without going over. Couldn't use 5 times 7 because it was too big. Used 5 times 6 is 30, so I know I could make 6 groups of 5, but I had 3 left over, which I brought into the next column. 5 into 35, and I've already got that one ready there. 5 into 35 goes 7 with no remainder. So 335 divided by 5 is 67. Right, now let's make it a little bit trickier then. Now we've got a 4-digit divided up by a 1-digit. So I'm dividing them by 4, and I'm going to divide up 3048. 3048. Here we go then. 4's into 3. Can't do that, so I'm bring the 3 into the next column. Now I've got 4's into 30. So I could either write out my whole 4 times table. I can think about ones that I know. I know 4 times 6 is 24. I know that 4 times 7 is 28. Okay, it's going to keep going. I think it's going to be this one, isn't it? I know that 4 times 8 is 32. Right, so I'm going to say that I can definitely make 7 groups, but with 30, I've got 2 to add on to get to the 30. The difference between 30 and 28 is 2. That's the remainder that I bring across. 4's into 24, okay, that's going to be 6. 4's into 8. Okay, 4's into 8. I can make 2 groups of 4 and 8, so it's going to be 2. So the answer to that one is going to be 7, 6, 2. Right there. Now, what about today? There are going to be questions in the quiz of a remainder. So this one today is a 4-digit by 1-digit, and it will have a remainder. So, some of that, so I can make it nice and clear. 6, and I'm going to divide 1, 4, 1, 3. So 6's into 1, can't do that, so I'm going to bring that across. 6 is into 14, that's going to be 2 because I can go 6 times 2 is 12, 6 times 3 is 18, that's too big, so it's going to be 2. Difference between 14 and 12 is 2, bring it across. 6 is into 21 then, well I'm going to use the 6 times 3 is 18. 3, and I've got 3 left over to bring across. So now I've got 6 into 33. Well, I know that 6 times 5 is 30. 6 times 6 is 36. Too big. So I'm going to be looking for this one. 6 times 5 is 30. So I can make 5 groups, but I've got a remainder of 3. Nowhere to put it here, so I'm going to put that as R3. Okay, now, you could today enter your answer like this. Alternatively, if you did the gold yesterday and you'd like to give it a go, you can enter your answer as a decimal. I'll quickly go through how we're going to do that again down here. So 6's into 1, 4, 1, 3. Just give myself a little bit more room. 6's into 5, couldn't do. 6 into 14 was 2. 6 into 21 was 3. 6 into 33 was 5. I'm going to place in that decimal point and the 0. Don't have to do this, remember. So, into 33, 5 with the remainder of 3 that I'm going to bring across into this 0 here. 6 is into 30 then, are going to be 5, so the answer would be 235.5. This one will come out right in the Teams quiz. This one will come out right in the Teams quiz. Obviously, it's not exactly the same question, but you've got those 2 different ways of showing it. Now, whilst we're on the subject, when you are answering your questions, please make sure you put the answer in and just the answer. Okay, it'll recognise the numbers. So, for example, let's look at answer 3. We said that 3 was 762. We just need to type in letter number 762 and enter. Okay, nothing else. For the ones with the remainder, so we go up with 235R3. Type it in like this: 235R3. I had no spaces. Okay, just 235R3, and that will recognise it as correct if it's correct, or if you want to do it with a decimal, 235 full stop 5 for the point. Okay, 235 full stop 5. Right, So now I'll show you how we're going to get to today's quiz and how to answer it. Right, so I've opened up Teams here and I'm in the Year 5 Teacher Support page. Now you've either got the option to find it in the main posts section, there it says View Assignment, or you can go into Assignments in the tabs across the top, find their Friday Division quiz. Today we're doing the Friday Division quiz, and it should to you look like this. Here's Friday's Maths task. Watch the video first, so make sure you've watched all the video, which if you're listening to me, you have done. Select it and you should get something that looks a bit like this. If you're on a laptop, it'll look like that. Mobile looks slightly different, a little bit more squished up, but the same content. What you need to do is work through each question individually and use some scrap paper. You will need to do these divisions in full. Don't guess, use the method that we've done. Enter each answer carefully, make sure it's exactly what you want to enter, with no spaces, and then just press enter when you're ready to enter it. Work through all of them. The last question is one we haven't necessarily talked too much about, so it's asking you to kind of use a bit of your own initiative. How would you solve something divided by 6 is 849? And I've given you a clue there, asking you to use inverse operations. When you've done your work, make sure you select submit. That's important that we select submit there so that the work gets sent through to your teachers. Okay, so do your best. Don't be too down on yourself if it's not the score you want. Remember, you're doing your best at home, and that's good enough. We'll see you soon.